What's up, my dudes? It's Ansu, and today I'm here finally to talk about my January wrap-up, which I read 2 books in January. If you didn't know, my brother actually got married last month. That's why I was very busy, and I felt like I had no time to read whatsoever. I didn't really even have time to film videos, but I posted a couple here and there, which was something, I guess. But I have a little bit more time right now, so I'm reading a little more. And yeah, let's talk about those 2 books, and I'll also be talking about like an yearly TBR rather than just a February specific TBR, because I don't know what I'm in the mood for at the moment. Let's just talk about all the books. The first book that I finished in the year of 2021 was the second book of the Devabot trilogy, which is The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. I was highly anticipating this book and like the entire trilogy itself from last year, and I was having a hard time getting into it last year because, well, I was very busy traveling and all of those kind of stuff. But I finally got around to finishing the book early on this year, and holy crap, let me tell you, I loved it. If I'm specifically talking about the second book, I think I gave it a 4.5 stars. I have hence finished the third and final book of the series, but in January I had only finished the second book, and I thought it was fantastic. Some of the theories that came up by reading the first book were finally answered, and it was good. Overall, I had a lot of fun reading it. This trilogy follows around this girl called Neri, who is from Egypt, and she gets whisked into this world and is told that she's not just a regular human, which makes perfect sense because she has some sort of healing magic. Whenever she gets hurt herself, she heals very quickly, like abnormally quickly, and she can also heal other people with weird diseases and can tell that they have a certain disease inside themselves, if that makes sense. She gets whisked off into this world which is mostly filled with these godlike creatures, and she gets a place amongst all of these people, but there's so much going on beyond just being a healer. There are a bunch of conspiracies, some evil kings, and all that kind of jazz. It is insane. Like, you cannot put the book down whatsoever because you just want to know what's happening, and you want to make sure that all of these characters are doing well because, well, it's scary. I personally love this entire trilogy. I thought it was a fantastic series. That's all I have to really say about it. It was fantastic, so definitely check it out if you haven't yet read any of S.A. Chakraborty's books, because they're magnificent. The second book I read was a romance, and it was Royal Holidays by Jasmine Guillory. This was the 4th book of the Wedding Date series. Particularly the series, you don't have to exactly read it in order. I personally read it as 1, 2, 3, 5, and 4. Because I literally did not know there was a 4th book, Royal Holiday. I thought this was the 5th one. Anyway, I ended up reading this, and I gave this, I think, 3 stars out of 5. I personally didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. It was good, but I felt like there was, I don't know, the romance felt very quick. Like, nothing really happened for them to be super attracted to each other and fall in love with each other. I just didn't understand how that was done so quickly. Ending, I felt like, was just wrapped up super abruptly, and I didn't love that. I just did not enjoy that whatsoever. We have the mother of one of the characters from the previous books. These characters have been talked about previously in the previous books, and you're kind of building up on these characters to make them become something bigger, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. So we have this character, Vivian, who travels with her daughter to the UK. She gets the chance to meet like the royal family because of her daughter, and she ends up staying there for like a vacation with them. And she ends up meeting a personal staff of the Queen, Malcolm, and they interact with each other. They have fun together. They fall in love together. That's pretty much the entire plot line. I thought the plot itself has so much potential, but it just felt like it was done very quickly. It was wrapped up very quickly, and the romance is just not there for the majority of the book. I can understand the friendship. That was fun. But the romance, I just felt like it didn't have any complexity. It just happened very quickly, and I was just sitting there like, I don't feel anything for you guys. That's what happened, and I was not super into it, unfortunately. I guess it was still a good romance. It's just not for me at this particular moment, for sure. I think a lot of people would enjoy it. I just feel like I'm not the correct audience for it, because I personally did love it. Okay, those were the 2 books I read in January. Great, right? I had such a lovely reading month. But I also wanted to talk about like more of an yearly TBR, because I'm excited about a lot of books. So over on Twitter, we had this thing floating around, which is basically like 12 friends, 12 books, and people will be recommending books to you that you will be reading throughout the year. Some of these books I really want to read as soon as possible, so I just wanted to give them a shout out. This will be like my TBR for the year for sure. I will definitely try my best to read all of these books because I want to, and I will try my best to do that. First one was recommended to me by Kay, and it was Love and Gelato, or any of its sequels, and I've seen the books floating around, and I've picked it up a couple of times. Like, I literally took it into my hands in the bookstore to buy it, but I didn't end up buying it for some reason, so I definitely will try to get to this one. I have the script right now. Hopefully I will get to it soon. From what I know, it's a young adult contemporary romance, and that is true for all of the rest of the books in the series. In the first one, we have Lena, who is basically forced to go to Italy because of his mother's dying wish to go and meet her father, who she hasn't spoken to in 16 years. And once she gets there, she's been told that Italy is basically known for love and gelato, but it's not just that you will find particularly there. There's so much more to it, and she explores the entire country, I guess. She figures out the secret place for art, music, and all of these wonderful things. That is pretty much all I have. And it sounds like a very cute story, but I haven't been reading a lot of YA anything as of late. I feel like most of YA has more of an immature tone for me right now at this present moment. I still will read it, but I don't know if it's going to resonate that well with me. I hope it does, but as of right now, it hasn't been doing that much for me. We'll figure it out and see what it is going to be like, but as of right now, don't know about it. Next up, I got recommended All Backs Go to Cleveland by C.S. Hale. This was recommended by Jenna, and I've never heard of this book or the author. I saw the cover, I thought it was very cute. It looks to me like a contemporary romance as well. So we have our main character who loses her modeling career because of her clumsiness, and romance is like the last thing on her mind, but I think she finds romance and it's supposed to be super cute or something like that. I don't really know much about this. I don't want to know much about it because I've literally never heard of the book prior to this recommendation, so I would like to know what it's about by actually reading it myself. I don't know if there's even an audiobook for it. I haven't really checked, but I have to look into that so I can actually listen to it later on and just, try it for myself, see how it goes, and all that kind of jazz. As of right now, I know there's like gremlin involved, or so it says in the synopsis, so I'm assuming there's gremlin involved. It can probably be like supernatural contemporary romance. I have no clue. So keep me posted if I actually read it, and I'll let you know how I feel about it. Rachel recommended Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. I have actually finished this book, so yay me. That was the third and final book of the David Bott trilogy, like I was talking about earlier. I love that book. It was great. Also, she recommended The Power by Naomi Alderman. I had never heard of this book either, but looking into it, it is a science fiction feminist kind of a book, and it sounds very intriguing, and it's also set in like Nigeria, Saudi Arabia. It seems like it will be something that I will enjoy, but it will take me a lot of time to get into. Knowing me, like, I will finish reading it by taking my sweet ass time, but I feel like I would love it, if that makes any sense. I hope it does, but I don't know, my brain works weirdly. I really do think I would enjoy this book though. I also got recommended another YA contemporary romance, which was Cinderella Ella by Kelly Oram, and I had never heard of this before. We have this character who's dealing with a very bad past life, and her only escape is essentially talking to this internet friend called Cinder, and I think they have like a connection. There might be a romance there because it's a romance contemporary book, so I think there's going to be a romance there, and they're like 17 or 18 years old. They're pretty young. That's pretty much all I have for that book, and it sounds like it's going to be sweet and a little dark at the same time, which I think will be an amazing read, so we'll see. The next few books I got recommended were pretty popular, and they have been on my TBR for a little while. I need to get to it. They are The Invisible Life of Addie, LaRue. I've heard mixed reviews about this. A lot of people loved it, a lot of people didn't like it whatsoever, so we'll see how I feel about it. I have started reading the book and I was not getting into it, so I had to drop it for a little while. Hopefully I'll get back into it again. We have Lovely War by Julie Berry, which I have seen floating around so much, and a lot of people love it so much, especially Addie. She has adored it for such a long time. She's been telling everyone to read it. So hopefully I can get into this because it sounds very lovely. It's like Aphrodite is throwing romance at people, and it's also set in like the 1940s or something like that, and people are running from the war. Something like that. I honestly don't know. I don't want to know much about it because that's how I read, but yeah, sounds lovely. Lovely word. Okay. Next up is Where Dreams Descend. I have this book. I got this copy from Darian as a gift. It's obviously not here in India. It's back home, so I have to get back and read it, hopefully, because I miss it. I miss looking at it. It's such a pretty book. And of course, Darian recommended to read Strange the Dreamer, which I have read, but I have not finished Muse of Nightmares. The first time I read like 50 pages. The second time around, I read nearly 80 to 90 pages. Did I finish the book? No! Why didn't I finish the book? I don't know. It's actually fun. I just don't know why I'm not reading it. I don't understand my brain. That's the one book that I can't finish for whatever reason, and it's not bad. So I don't get it. It's really sad. Alright, those are all the books that had been recommended to me in this like Twitter thing, and I do intend on reading them by the end of this year. So I wanted to talk to you all about all of those books. I just want to be held accountable. I want people to be like, Ansu, you have not read these books. You've got to read them. I'm looking at you, Darian. If I don't read Muse of Nightmares this year, just scream at me. Honestly, just at this point, I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, you guys, those are all the books that I wanted to talk about in this video. I know this is probably short. I don't know. In my head, this was supposed to be a very short video, but I've already been talking for like 25 minutes. So good luck to me for editing, but we'll see how this goes. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time with another one. Until then, I'll talk to you all in the comments. Bye!